So we've got the connection back, Ed, and I would like to ask you, what do you think of the um, 10 between 10 and 14 Boers being murdered in South Africa every week? And what do you think of Zimbabwe's Caucasian population being reduced by 92,000 under Robert Mugabe?
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, it's despicable that crime is running so rampant in a country that used to have a very low crime rate for an African nation, over 20 years ago, 25 years ago. It's just continuously declining. With Robert Mugabe, he turned his own forces on his own people. I mean, torturing, and I mean, it's just despicable, the rapes and the mayhem that went on there, people being ruined sexually and everything from tortures to everything else. So it's a very uh, sad, miserable existence for Zimbabwe right now. And I hope once Robert Mugabe's gone that they're able to get it together. As long as Robert Mugabe's living, if that is Robert Mugabe living and not some double man, it's almost like this guy's been alive forever now. But without a doubt, a change has got to happen in Zimbabwe. It won't last another 20 years at the way it's been ran. In the same way as South Africa, I don't see South Africa escaping another possible internal war, you know, it going in the same direction in the next 20 years. Let me continue where I left off.
Uh,
I
and
think I kind of answered that question.
indeed, and would it be wise if Zimbabwe was um, put into Mashonaland, Matabeleland, and a territory for the Southern Rhodesians?
I can agree with that assessment.
Yep.
That, that's a very good assessment because at the rate it's going, it's not going to last anyways. You know what I mean? It's just it's already there where it's collapsed. It's just the UN's keeping it alive with food and money help. Other than that, it would already be a collapsed nation. It's there already. It was failed. You, you know. And one thing I always say to people, it's easy to cause revolution, but it's hard to run a country. Anybody can destroy a country with revolution, but not everybody can run a country.
And what do you think of the hate speech and incitement against Caucasians in South Africa and Zimbabwe? Specifically, the insightful, hateful songs Dubala and Bruno, Ayasaba Magwala, and the Peter Makaba chant Kill the Boer and Kill the Farmer.
Yeah, and as again, it's if this was a white politician on any other part of the world that was speaking like this, it would be headline news. But they try to defend this "Kill the Boer" song with, oh, it's a traditional just song and they don't mean nothing by it, even though the words are totally obvious of what the intent is.
Yeah,
And and like I said, today white Africans are facing a total obliteration of their culture and possibly their own lives if something within the next 20 years is not done. This is only going to continue to snowball out of control. You know what I mean? And when you got a government, it gives you the mentality that it's okay. It's okay. It's the same mentality. They're just white people. It's okay. They're just black people. It's okay. They're not really human. It's okay. And that is what we're getting out of the South African government. You know what I mean? Is that white people they owe us, and we're in charge now, and they're going to be punished
and they must
for
be made to pay.
Yeah, it's something that, once again, we said earlier that most of these people that are suffering under this new regime did not even live during apartheid. You know, and and if you talk to them, none of them are really racist. So I tell people. I said I even talk to Boers that they say, "Well, I hope my black neighbor who just got this farm can actually grow the food, and we're going to try to help him best we can." But the mentality, once that work comes in and the management of a farm comes in, the farm usually fails. You know, they try to help. That's what people don't realize. They think like they're against black people. They want other farmers that are black to be successful just like they do too, you know. But they want their own farms too. It's been in their families forever, you know. And so there's got to be some changes. And to me, B laws need obliterated. They're nothing but a nuisance. They're nothing but something to, you know, cause more strife. And going back on apartheid, everything, you've heard them blame everything from we're lacking water because during apartheid they built the dams too big. I mean, this is kind of ignorance you get. This ain't like stuff you see in the Western world. So I tell people you can't look at South Africa and put it in a frame of mind of the Western idea, just like you can't the Middle East. You come in here, these people are tribal people. They have traditions. They believe, a lot of them, in magic and witchcraft. You know what I mean? And it's a very different world. This ain't a Western world. And so you can't put the mentality of Western racism or something like, oh, it's racist, white against black. No, you got racists there that are tribe against tribe. They don't like one another. The Zulu, you can't even marry outside the tribe. You talk about apartheid, they can't even marry outside their tribe without their king's permission. Isn't that apartheid? Or is that tribalism? So it's it that's what I try to tell people. I was like, you cannot put apartheid in the system, why it was established, into order. Did I say, was it a failed system? Well, it failed because of pressure worldwide. You know what I mean? Uh, and I'm not saying I believe in an oppression of nobody, oppression of any people. But when you look back at it, it was a system that was designed for that area. It was safer to keep certain groups of people away from each other. It's better the Zulus stay with the Zulu than be over here because these people don't get along. You know, this tribe don't get along. It's a tribal system, and that's what I try to tell a lot of people. There was a bit of Western frame of mind with the Afrikaner and the Boer, but then again, they are a unique people that are much tribal, as in with the Boer, as in traditions that of their families. So I mean, to me, is it like a tribe? No, but they are a unique culture that have their own ideas and culture and stuff. And to me, if they want their own homeland, if they want their own to be around each other, there should be no law prohibiting these people to be together like any other tribe or any other people. I mean, it's only natural and common sense factors that you're attracted to be around your own people. If you're hanging in a bar, you had a bunch of Yanks on one side and a bunch of Irish on the other side, who do you want to drink a pint with? You know what I mean? You're going to get over with your Irishman. I mean, it's just a natural sense. There's nothing racist against it. It's just we as a people are attracted to be around our people. And it's not racist to stand up for your people in any shape or form. And that's why I tell people it's a common sense. Let's throw the common sense factor in. Take the politics out. And let's throw the common sense factor. And then once you start thinking more common sense in these issues, the more you're like, you know what? You're right. And we're just all humans. And that's cool. And let's try to get along with each other. But when you got a government that the only thing they want to do is keep bringing up racist things and atrocities, supposed atrocities of the past, you're never going to get past it. And the thing here, we have Native Americans here. And if anybody's got the right to really complain and bitch, forgive the term, is the Native Americans of America. I mean, these people, great people. I got a little bit of Native American blood in me. I had a fourth great grandmother that was a Chickasaw Indian. So, but these people are great people. They've went on past everything that's happened in the past, and you know, a lot of them are very prosperous today with casinos and everything else. great people, an example to the world. You know what I mean? Of what perseverance situation went against common sense. There's common sense factors you got to use in politics. The common sense factor should have happened in South Africa is, hey, we were oppressed. We had laws against us, so we're not going to make the same mistake that happened in the previously. We're going to make everything fair for everyone. We're going to do everything that's fair for everyone. We're not going to have laws that are based against race. We're going to have to the fittest, to the best person for the job is going to get it. It don't matter what color you are. So the B laws are a total failure. It's one of the biggest reasons why South Africa's fallen. We were headed in the same kind of a direction here in America with stupidity in politics that we were failing. We were failing worldwide. We were an embarrassment worldwide. And now we got a strong guy in there. And people were like, kept telling me, Donald Trump ain't going to win. I knew without a shadow of a doubt that Donald Trump was going to win, and I won a lot of money betting against people that Donald Trump was going to win that election because I knew he would. Because America, what I call, if you don't love Donald Trump, you just don't love what America's founded on. There's nothing wrong with wanting to put your country first. There's nothing wrong, you as an Irishman, there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, I want to put Ireland first. And that's a common sense factor. Once again, your politics fall into common sense factors. You're an Irishman, I'm an American. Whatever country you're from, you want your country to be first, But what I like about Trump is he's willing to work with Russia, like he said. To me, it was not common sense the entire time the Obama administration was against Russia, because I'm thinking they're wanting to destroy ISIS. We want to destroy ISIS. So let's get together and let's destroy ISIS. There's nothing good to come out of being an enemy of Russia. There's nothing good at being at ends with Russia, not for us and not for the world. It'd be better to have a peaceful existence with Russia, a mutual respect with Russia, and the same with Israel. The vast majority of Americans are Israeli supporters, which might shock a lot of people, but we believe in the supporting of Israel. And believe it or not, some people may say superstitious or whatever it is. We believe, especially here in the Bible Belt, that your blessings as a nation come from blessing Israel. So we are highly into supporting Israel. We look at Israel as one of our strongest allies. It's one of the few. It's the only democracy in the Middle East, and so that's what we like about Trump too, coming on the scene, And it's just nice. Right after the election, I woke up that next day and I was like, I feel like it's America 1980s again under Ronald Reagan or something. It felt like I was in America again. As the 8 years, I was totally perplexed that the entire administration, it didn't feel American. The policies was not American. They were brainwashing the kids in school, for the last 8 years. And most of these kids, which are coming up, are going to be voting. So be prepared. Once these kids are in the voting age, we will most likely have another Democratic president, because of these kids, most of them coming through school has already been brainwashed into these policies, And but no, for right now, I think we've saved America for the next. Well, we saved it for one with getting a Supreme Court nominee that is against abortion. It's going to be announced, I think, next Thursday. Donald Trump's announcing that. So it's going to be we saved the generation, because we're going to have a conservative in the Supreme Court. So that's one good thing. And possibly another one. Some of them are pretty old, so they think another opening might happen within the next 4 to 8 years too. And I definitely believe if Donald Trump wants the second nomination to presidency, he'll get it. I mean, he'll win it. But I don't know at the end of this 4 years if he'll win it again at his age and stuff. But hopefully he does. Yes, sir.
Mentioned the broad-based black economic empowerment laws, which amount to 119 anti-Boer laws. You also referred to land reform and in Zimbabwe and South Africa, and you've also mentioned the recent um, thawing of tensions with Russia, and also while I myself personally disagree with um, the policies of Medinat Israel, I appreciate your honesty in support and saying what a lot of American people who would disagree with myself on the issue of Israel and Palestine would think. But I would like to um, concentrate on um, Zimbabwe and South Africa after just clarifying. So you think Donald Trump is very much in the mold of Ronald Reagan?
Yes, I see him actually being greater than Ronald Reagan at the end of his terms. I think this he's going to be ranked, in my opinion, one of the greatest presidents the United States has had since George Washington. And I even told people I felt in my spirit that God had putting a mantling of George Washington on this man. Even though he identifies with Andrew Jackson, he's really bold as in George Washington, as in getting things done. Even though he's not a military man, he has a general's mind. He's a great businessman, just like George Washington was. And I foresee him doing things that at the end of his term that is going to place him even one of the great conservative presidents of all time, because he's more bolder than any president we ever had. He don't pull punches, which I love, and most Americans do love it. You'll hear the media talking like, "Oh, you know what I mean?" But believe me, living here, man, we loved him. Even where I work at, they were like, the union was like, "We're supporting Hillary Clinton." I guarantee you there was no one in that union that voted for Hillary Clinton. It was just everybody was tired of it. We could not foresee a Hillary Clinton coming in and carrying on the same policies of Obama. And after Benghazi and everything else, America frowned on Hillary Clinton. You know, her biggest mistake, she probably could have become president if she would not have got associated with Obama. You know, getting caught up in Benghazi and everything else that went on. She got more of the heat than what he did for a lot of the issues. You know, she was more, I think, you may say she'd been scapegoat a little bit from the president because they weren't going to go against Obama on anything. He was the first African American president. And unfortunately, I see his total administration as being the most failed administration in American history. There was no patriotism. There was nothing about his administration that united the country, but divided the country. Lawlessness reigned free, just like it did in South Africa under the same style of policies. You know, setting prisoners free, just like they do in South Africa. I mean, it was totally an un-American environment for the last 8 years. So it's good to see, even though you got your crybabies out there, your college students, you're this, you're that are out there crying and whining. Hey, it's America again.
Just
Suck it up
a few points, sir.
and enjoy it.
It's funny that you were mentioning American patriotism and you were mentioning that Trump embodies it, but you also mentioned George Washington. He had the same patriotic streak as did Andrew Jackson, the last person, the
Yes.
last president to eliminate U.S. national debt. But as interesting as those points are, and we could speak all day on them, I would like to focus on South Africa and Zimbabwe. And
Right.
what do you think of the present situations in
Oh,
South
yes.
Africa and Zimbabwe?
Well, Zimbabwe is a complete nightmare. You know, you're talking about a country that went from feeding all of its neighbors to, relying on imported food from the UN. Uh, Robert Mugabe was a nightmare to every countryman he was. He came in with the same mentality of tribalism. You know what I mean? People of his tribe prospered, and the people that they consider not of their tribe or against their tribe, they suffered. Thousands upon thousands tortured and killed, and everybody in the world allows this man who claims to be the Black Adolf Hitler to sit there and stay in power. It's such a paper regime. It's such a paper regime. A minor revolution in that country would collapse it. And that's my opinion. A minor revolution would collapse that entire country. And the only thing that would save it would be UN intervention with troops and so forth. But it would totally collapse. Not even the people that pretend to be on Robert Mugabe's side, I don't think, are even on Robert Mugabe's side anymore. It's a failed regime. After a while, you just say it's failed. It's completely failed. You know, once they got rid of most of your white farmers and took over their lands, they just could not produce food anymore. You know, that's that same socialist, communist mentality of I want it, but I don't want to work for it. A farmer, there's no more hardworking man in the world, in any country you go to, as a farmer. Self-driven, self-motivated, and most very godly individuals too. You know, they know. I just not long ago, I was talking to a farmer here in my local area, and I shook his hand. I said, I appreciate everything you do. And he was kind of shocked at it. Without farmers, we don't eat. And that's the prime example of what has happened in Zimbabwe. Eliminated farmers, and now you're hungry. So, as in with Zimbabwe, it's a country I don't, after Robert Mugabe, I do not see it lasting long after Robert Mugabe. And hopefully it'll be took back and be put more in a real democratic situation, not these fake. It's just like what was that? Bennett, Roy Bennett, is that his name? You ever heard of him? He was a man. Actually, I was fascinated with the man. He was a farmer in Zimbabwe. He was elected by the people to be the head, I believe, of agriculture in Zimbabwe. And Robert Mugabe flipped his cookies. He had to leave, and he went to South Africa. He had to go into exile. I don't know if he's still there or not. I talked to him once on Facebook, you know, so I don't know what his situation is right now or nothing. But this is a man who not only speaks his language, he speaks several different tribal languages, and he's a fascinating individual. But this is a man that was elected by black people to head the agriculture, but Robert Mugabe's such a racist, he ran him out of the country. So I think there's a book